Explain what the Scranton Fringe Festival is, but that's still sometimes, people still sometimes get confused. Why don't you just call it like the Scranton Theater Festival or the Scranton Performing Arts Festival? Two answers to that. One, we already have a wonderful organization called the Scranton Shakespeare Festival, and we didn't want to seem like we were like being more like we're the theater festival. Like, no, like they're a theater festival as well. We are a theater festival, not the only one, which is wonderful. Fringe actually comes from, I'll do a quick rapid fire history lesson.
Sure.
1947, Edinburgh, Scotland. Any of our history fans out there will know that the United Kingdom, especially London, was devastated by the bombing of World War II. So they were still repairing London and recovering, but the United Kingdom and Great Britain sort of wanted to reunite itself socially and culturally with the European continent. So they held, the powers that be formed what was called, which is still the Edinburgh International Festival of Music and Drama. So think like Shakespeare, music, drama, symphonies, ballets, etc., the creme de la creme. 8 companies, I believe 6 Scottish, 2 English, I could be wrong, but 8 companies independent of each other and independent of the festival said, well, we know what theaters will be packed, we know what hotels will be packed, and restaurants will be packed. They each did their own thing, and it was originally referred to as the Adjunct Festival because it was like an adjunct of the main festival. A year later, a journalist and a playwright by the name of Robert Kemp, because that kind of independent movement started kind of kicking off and growing bit by bit by bit, and he coined the term that there was a lot of independent work happening around the fringe of the main festival. And that's how fringe, what they refer to in the United Kingdom as fringe theater, we would call like off Broadway, independent, like regional theater that's like professional or unique and highly cultural, but not necessarily like commercial mainstream.
Okay.
And it runs, of course. So a fringe festival, so that started there. That became an official charity in the 1950s. It is now the largest annual event in the world, period. And I'm going to put you on the spot, Gerard. I'm going to give you a trivia question.
Please.
It's the largest annual event in the world, period. Yes. Technically, 2 other events sell more tickets. What would you think they are? And the clue is that Fringe is annual. And it has that distinction. These events are not necessarily every year.
These events are not necessarily every year. Would one be either Live Aid or Woodstock, possibly?
No, but I'll give you. But think event. Doesn't have to be arts. Think a big giant gathering that happens maybe every 4 years.
The Olympics.
The Olympics would be one. Fantastic.
I'm trying to think of
World Cup.
Yes.
World Cup. All right, Parker.
Thank
yes,
you.
Sir. All right.
Thank you. Very well done. So
right.
they technically sell more tickets, but they're not every year. So if you go by annual, Edinburgh Fringe, it's the entire month of August in Scotland.
Wow.
There's like 4,000 shows that are playing for like 28 days straight, and the schedules vary. Everything from full theaters to pop-up spaces that are created to, I've seen shows in empty swimming pools, caravan trucks and stuff like that. I mean, it's millions of people attending this festival. It's insane.
Outstanding.
So anyway, we are loosely connected to them through a World Fringe Association, but every Fringe Festival is independent. We also belong to a United States Association. There's over 200 worldwide. Some of the bigger ones, again, of course, Edinburgh, Scotland. Then you have Adelaide, Australia. There's like Canada, Australia. In the U.S., I would say Orlando, Rochester, Philly, and San Diego are probably, if not mistaken, our biggest Fringe festivals, and we've learned a lot from them. So we're part of a worldwide community. We learn a lot. We go to conferences every 2 years or so. I'll be going to San Diego in May of next year, which is we learn a lot, and it's really great. And what I love about Fringe festivals is that sometimes there's a perception, even locally, that everything in our festival has to be or must be or we want it to be edgy, and I hate that word, or avant-garde or experimental. And my answer is, yes, we welcome that. We also welcome squeaky clean, family-friendly puppet shows, and we also welcome highly professional, traditional Shakespearean plays, and we also welcome highly professional, experimental Shakespearean works. The point of it's not one thing or the other on the spectrum. The point is that the artist gets to lead the conversation. If that's what the artist wants to do, and by artist, that could be a professional, a mid-level artist, amateur, or total hobbyist. And the point is that they get to decide, because they apply to us, and we charge nothing to apply, which we are one of the only Fringe festivals ever that do that. We charge nothing to apply. We are curated primarily for time and space, because unfortunately we're still rather modest. But we're able to accept about like 1 out of 10 that apply to the festival. We get a lot of applications. And so everything from theater, music, comedy, and this year alone, you can go to scrantonfringe.org for more information, but we have something like 40 to 50 productions, and if you count all their individual seatings, it's something like 200 performances.
Wow, that's a lot to fit into